Hello do-it-yourselfers, I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician. Welcome to another one of my video shorts on current topics. Let's get started. So this is the third video in my smart home series. In the first one we set up the Google Home Mini and got going with Google Assistant to explore what that can do for us. In the second video, I set up the Nest Learning Thermostat, and we got that connected with the Nest app and integrated that with the Google Home Mini. The third one deals with the Nest X Yale lock, and we're going to explore that deadbolt system. It's an automated deadbolt, and we're going to see all what that can do for us. So let's get started. So here it is, the Nest X Yale door lock. We'll start by unboxing it and see what we have inside here for contents. Here's the Let's Get Started manual. We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's see what we got inside. Looks like the lock itself in its own box. Set that aside. Wow. Feels like Christmas. More literature. Here's the head unit itself. Set that aside. Here's the inside with the manual lock. This is the Nest Connect. Apparently you need that as an interface between your Wi-Fi and the door lock itself. I lied. That's the hardware. Some batteries. That's it for this one. So here's the Nest Connect. Again, more literature we'll set aside for now. And this is going to have to be plugged into an outlet somewhere close to the door lock and within range of the Wi-Fi, I assume. So here's the quick start guide. The first thing it says is to get the Nest app, well, which we already have from getting the Nest Learning Thermostat. So we need to just plug in then the Nest Connect somewhere close to the door lock and within range of the Wi-Fi. And then we have to get this set up and connected to the Wi-Fi using the Nest app. So let's do that next. So here's a little instruction sheet that came with the Nest Connect. Open up the Nest app, tap the Add button at the bottom, and add Nest Connect. So let's open up the app. Open up the Nest app. There's my thermostat. That's a good thing. I don't see the Add button, so maybe in the settings. Add a product. Scan the code. So now I have to unplug my Nest Connect and scan the code. So hang on, I'll do that. All right, so back, unplug my Nest Connect. Now I've got to scan that code it says. Got it. Now we move to next. So now on the app it says Wake Up Nest Connect by pressing the button. So there's the button. I pressed and held it till the light turns blue. We have a blue light. So now we should be able to go next. Obviously the Nest Connect has its own power source, but it needs to be plugged in to maintain charge. And while we're waiting for this, I'm thinking a good location for the Nest Connect might be behind my fridge, because that way I know nobody's going to inadvertently unplug it, but we'll see. Okay, so the next step is to select my Wi-Fi network I want to connect to, so I'm going to have to add in my passcode and all that, so I'll do that. And there it is, added to your Nest account. Next, we'll help you find a good spot for your Nest Connect. So let's see what that says. So it says find a good spot for your Nest Connect. It has a range of about 40 feet, but walls and large objects can affect this. So plug it in between your Nest Guard and the Nest Detects or your Nest X Yale lock and your Wi-Fi router. Okay, well, like I discussed earlier, I think behind my fridge is a good spot for it, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so I've plugged the Nest Connect in behind the fridge, and I did the test here where it says just push the button, should pulse blue, then turn green, and then turn off. And it did that, so we're moving on to the next step. Well, on second thought, I found an even better spot. I have a over-the-range microwave range hood combo, and the receptacle for that is up in the cupboard above that. So there's only one half being used to plug in the microwave and range hood combo unit. That's a perfect place for it, right between the Nest lock where it's going to be and the Wi-Fi router. So we'll just call that kitchen. They want to know where it is. And we're done setting up the Nest Connect. So we're done step 1 and 2. Now we're going to move on to step 3, which is install the Nest X Yale lock. So we'll move locations here and we will follow the setup on the lock once it's installed. And just to show you that location for the Nest Connect plugged in right there above my microwave in that cabinet. And you can see I just plugged it into the top half of that receptacle. So it should be nice and safe up there, and nobody's going to inadvertently unplug it on me. So here's the main entrance door on our home. Here's the inside deadbolt latch, and reminder to get some WD-40. Here's the outside lock set. So that's where we'll install the Nest X Yale lock. So the Nest X Yale lock comes with all the instructions if you were installing this lock on a new door installation and all the hardware required, but of course we're replacing an existing, so it's much simpler. Step 1 is just remove these 2 screws with a standard Phillips screwdriver, about a medium size Phillips. So once those 2 screws are removed, this part just comes right off. Set it aside. And then the outside, the lock set pulls off. Now there was a little silicone around this to protect any moisture from getting inside the door, because this door is fairly exposed to the elements here. So there's the lock set, trim ring, a bit glued in there. And I believe we have to change the deadbolt itself, so we have to do that next. So I'd kind of hoped that this deadbolt itself was going to work for me, but it is not. As you can see, there's a different hole that the lock set itself uses to open the deadbolt. This is just a straight slotted one, so now I'm going to have to install this new deadbolt, and I'm also going to have to take my chisel and back set that plate so it fits flush with the door frame. So I'm going to have to do a little prep here, take a wood chisel and just chip out that little area there to fit the striker plate. So I've removed the old one. First I got to install the deadbolt that came with the Nest X Yale lock. And then I just need to mark where I need to inset this. Make sure it's nice and level. Okay, I've got to cut that out with a wood chisel and a hammer. All right, so I've chiseled out the rough cut anyway. Time for a test fit, see how we did. So I got my striker bolt installed, and I inset that plate as best I could. Someday we'll do a video called how to use a screwdriver as a chisel when you can't find your wood chisel. So I did all that with a flat blade screwdriver, standard blade driver, and a utility knife, but it turned out okay. If you're very careful, you can do it. Now we just install these wood screws, finish off the installation of the deadbolt into the door. And we'll do the bottom one, then we'll check to make sure there's nothing stopping that bolt from moving freely back and forth. So now that you've got the deadbolt installed in the door, one thing you want to check is that it moves freely both directions. So get my hand out of the way, comes out and clicks, soft click, and all the way retracted, and another soft click. So I assume that the mechanism needs to feel that so it knows that it's fully extended and fully retracted. And then you should also shut the door and make sure nothing's obstructing that deadbolt from going into the striker. So again, fully extended and fully retracted. Now we're ready to mount the outside piece, the keypad, and the indoor section. Okay, so before we go out and install this, I'm just going to show you how you get access to the internal part of the indoor section of the lock. They send you a key like that. All you got to do is push in that hole, and that releases the cover. That's where the batteries go. Inside here are where the two screws go, these little black screws go to mount the mechanism to the back plate here. And you have to select for the right thickness of your door. Mine's 1 3/4 inches. So these black screws are what are going to go through the door from the inside plate. And then this outdoor keypad fits through the door, and they bolt together like this. So if you can see that, we'll go show you how it's actually done, but that's what it's going to be. The final result will be screwed together there, and then the inside section will screw onto this back plate. Okay, to put the lock assembly together, the keypad on the outside, feed it through the hole and your cable through the hole, and then it goes through this slot at the bottom of the inside mounting hardware. And you'll see these two pins here. They have to fit into holes, matching holes on the outside keypad. And then once that's together, you use the two bolts that were selected for 1 3/4 inch door. And if you can see that, they mount through these two holes and screw this whole assembly together, and then we put on the inside unit. So finish tightening these main bolts in. And make sure that your plate is nice and level, or straight I should say, same spacing between the window frame on the door and it. Same with the outside. Okay, now we'll put on the inside unit. Ready with the inside mechanism. The cable plugs into a little port on the back here. Make sure that's seated in there properly, and then it looks like you tuck in the excess cable. There's a little opening for that at the bottom. All right, that seems to be in place. Again, make sure your striker, your deadbolt moves freely. And then we use these two little screws here to fasten the head unit here at the back to the back plate, the inside unit to the back plate. Now we're ready to install the batteries and finish setting this up. Okay, we'll install the batteries as per the diagrams.
Hi from Yale and Nest. Press the Yale logo to begin.
And here we go. The Yale logo is on the back, on the outside keypad.
Start by creating the master code. It should be 4 to 8 digits long. Then press the check to continue. The master code is set. Next, make sure the door is closed. Then press the check to continue.
Okay, we'll have to go outside for that. So once you've installed the batteries, then it steps you through all the things you need to do. As you saw, we set the master code. Once I shut that door from the outside, it just checked itself to make sure that the deadbolt fully extended and then fully retracted. So now we're back inside and ready to connect to the Nest app. So what I've done is add a product, and again it says to scan a QR code, which is on the inside here. So we'll see if we can scan that code successfully. And there it says meet your Nest X Yale lock. Unlock it from anywhere using the Nest app. So time to explore what the app can do for us and check to make sure that we can unlock and lock from the app. So I went through and set the app up, and it took a while to get the Nest Connect to connect to my Nest app. So I ended up having to reset my router, and I actually read somewhere else where people had trouble with that, but it seems to have sorted itself out now, and they connected. The lock is connected and tied in, and here it is on my Nest app called the back door. So you hit that. And it's unlocked now. If I hold that, locks the door. And if I want to unlock that, you just hold it. And apparently that's going to work for me wherever I am in the world. Now we've also set up passcodes for both Sandy and I, and that's where you can set up codes for other people, and you do that here in the app. And you can add a person. Let's just call it YouTube for now. And it asks you if you want full access or just home entry only. Probably only want that. And you can set up schedules of when you want that to be active. You can see what that code is, so I've just set that temporary code, and it is, if you can see that, zoom it in a little bit, 077350. So that code should now work because I haven't set any time restrictions on it. Now we'll just give that a try. Okay, so to activate the keypad, you have to touch the Yale logo, and that opens it up. And that temporary access code that I granted for the YouTube video is 077350. Hit the check mark, and the door opens. So now that we've got the Nest lock linked to my Nest account, that also tied it in with Google Assistant through the Google Mini, the Google Home Mini. So let's try that. Hey Google, lock the back door.
You got it, locking the back door.
And there you go. And it won't unlock it as a safety feature, because if somebody came to the window and just yelled at your Google to unlock the door, it wouldn't work. So, hey Google, unlock the back door.
Sorry, I can't unlock the back door by voice.
Sorry, I cannot unlock the back door by voice. And there you go. So I think that's as far as we'll take the Nest Yale lock that we've added to our Nest account. As you can see here, got my thermostat that we did in video number 2. I can change the heat setting in here to 21 degrees and go back to the door lock, and we can lock and unlock the back door. And we'll look forward to video number 4 in my smart home series. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something useful from this video. My goal is to help you out with your small home electrical projects or minor repairs, and to help you complete them both safely and competently. Please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel here. And for more helpful information, visit my website at electrical-online.com. And if you'd like to learn more about home electrical, my program, The Basics of Household Wiring, is simply the best electrical educational information you will find. And it's available as a DVD or an instant download. I also use this information as the core material for my best-selling course at udemy.com called Learn the Basics of Household Wiring, the Electrical System A to Z. And of course, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. But what if you need help with something right away? I'm one of the experts on the Magnify app. That's Magnify with an I. You download the app and search for the Internet Electrician from your smartphone. You can get instant assistance. And I'm also a certified expert on the JustAnswer.com team. There are links below in the description here to everything that I've told you about. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician.